Hello everyone, myself Dr. Anindra Singh Das. I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in Swami Vivekananda Institute of Science and Technology. This is lecture number 13 of the subject control system and instrumentation, and today's topic is feedback and controller. Okay, now typical already you know about what is the block diagram of a typical control system. What we can have, that is, we have a plant that has to be controlled. Okay, part of the output should be fed back, okay, to a block that to be designed, okay, and it should be compared with the reference or command input. Then the error signal is applied to a block which is called the controller. Okay, it will modify the input error signal, and output is applied to plant in order to get the desired output. Okay, now why we are using this feedback? Okay, that is the points are reducing non-linearities in the system, reducing the sensitivity to uncertainties and variability. That means if stabilizing the unstable system, okay, reducing the effects of disturbances, then tracking of the output and shaping system response characteristics. Okay, so system can become a faster one. Okay, so this is how we are using, why we are using the feedback, and we have to use a controller. Okay, that is the main point. Now there is an example, that is, suppose we have a uh, binocular, okay, and it can be rotated by a motor. We can apply the voltage and it can rotate it so that it can track in particular direction. Okay, so input voltage motor and the platform angular position we can vary. So what we have, that is an example of open loop system. We can aim and we can shoot. Now what happens if we miss the shoot? Miss to shoot anything else? That is, can we automate the correction process? Now here we have to manually correct it. Okay. Now automatically, if you want to correct it, what you have to do? We have to use some potentiometer, and that data we have to compare with the exact location. Okay, and then we can have a controller. Okay, that is a simple amplifier again, and it can vary the motor position so that your platform at the actual position. So that becomes the closed loop system. That means output is fed back, compared, and a controller. This is the controller. If this controller modifies the error signal in order to achieve the desired output. Okay. So closed loop system, what it is doing, automatically adjust until the proper coordinates are achieved. Now what is the issue comes into picture? That is the speed of adjustment, inertia, momentum, stability, all those points. Okay. Now the concept of controller is to sense deviation of the output, okay, from the desired value, and correct it till the desired output is achieved. In order to get that, we have to use the controller. Okay. Now controller, the input should be the error signal. Okay. After taking the output and the command input, okay, or your desired output, actual output, the error should be applying to the controller. Controller modifies the error and apply that to the process or plant in order to get the desired output. Okay, so the deviation of the actual output from its desired value is called an error. Okay, the measurement of error is possible because of the feedback using some sensor, okay, or any other means. The feedback allows us to compare the actual output with its desired value to generate the error. Okay. Now the controller is an element which accepts the error in some form and decides the proper correction action. Okay. That is the use of the controller. The output of the controller is then applied to the process or final control element. This brings the output back to the desired set point value. So the controller is heart of the control system. The accuracy of the entire system depends on how sensitive is the controller to the error detected, okay, and how it is manipulating such an error. Now, why you need controllers? The performance. The performance of a system is usually analyzed on the basis of few parameters. These parameters are of time domain as well as of frequency domain. Now I am taking only the time domain analysis here. In time domain parameter we can take check, that is rise time. Okay, so rise time is lower, then it is better. That means system becomes faster. Then maximum overshoot should be lower. Okay, lower makes the system more stable. Okay, then settling time should be lower, then output settles faster to final value, okay, as if it has lower value. So system becomes faster one. Okay, then steady state error, the lower is the better, or precisely zero. Steady state error is zero is more better. Okay, the system becomes more stable and steady state error equal to zero. So these are the factor, okay, that that is the factor of a system. So rise time you have to make it lower, okay, so system becomes faster. Maximum overshoot, okay, for under damped system you have to make it lower and lower, then your system become more stable and your output response becomes say critically damped or over damped. Settling time should be lower, okay, and steady state error should be as low as possible. So these are the characteristics of the system, and we have already studied about what is rise time, maximum overshoot, settling time, and steady state error in last 2 or 3 lectures. Okay. Now let me take one example of stabilization of an unstable system. Okay, suppose PS block is unstable. Can we stabilize that system by inserting controller? Okay, so we can take a controller, okay, that is the gain is CS, and we have a feedback element, that gain of that element is say GS. So if you apply the block diagram reduction rule for feedback, negative feedback, so we can get CS into PS divided by 1 plus CS GS into PS. Now we can use one proportional feedback, CS equal to gain K only. So if we put it here K, so output here, what is the input, say this is E, then output in this block, that will be K into E. Okay, so error signal, output of controller is proportional of the error signal. Okay, that's why it is called proportional feedback or proportional controller, only K. Now if we take GS equal to 1, only the unity feedback. Okay, so if you insert K controller, then what we can see, this is the transfer function. So from that we can find out we have a pole at S equal to 2. Okay, so you have a pole at right half plane of S plane. So this system is unstable. That open loop system is unstable. Okay, now if we include one K, what will happen? So we have to find out the closed loop transfer function. So K into K divided by S minus 2 divided by 1 plus K by S minus 2, that is G divided by 1 plus GH. So this is the transfer function. Now from that what we can say, that S value is equal to nothing but 2 minus K, right? Now from that what we can say, if K value is greater than 2, okay, K value is greater than 2, then what will happen? If it's say 3, then S equal to minus 1, so pole will be at minus 1. Okay, so system becomes stable, right? If K value is 1, pole value at K value is 0. If K value is 0, then your pole at 2 unstable. K equal to 1, pole at 1. K equal to 0, sorry, 2, we have a pole at 0. Okay, so 2, then 1, then 0, right? We are increasing value of K. Okay, when K equal to 3, your pole S value, pole at minus 1, that means here, so then it will be stable. Okay, this region, that means one, when K greater than 2, your system becomes stable. That means if you insert a controller If that is a proportional controller, that means output of the controller is just proportional of input, I mean error signal. Okay. So if k greater than 2, system becomes stable. That means though open loop transfer function or say closed loop transfer function is unstable, by inserting a simple controller, we can make your system stable. So this is why we are using a controller in a control system. Okay. Now that is the proof that I have shown here. Okay. So if k value, now say this is the example of when your plot, I mean this PS plant, say this is your PS plant is 1 by s plus 2, that is stable. Okay. Now if we use controller and we can observe the variation of stability with respect to value of k. Okay. So if we have this is k and this is your 1 by s plus 2, okay, and gs equal to 1, then you will get this as transfer function. Okay. Now from that what we can say, s equal to minus 2 plus k. Now if k varies from 0 to infinity, what will happen? If k greater than 0, okay, greater than 0, your system will be stable, right, from minus 2 to minus infinity. If k less than 0, then what will happen? It will be going into the right half plane, so system become less stable, and k greater than 0, system becomes more stable. Okay. So improper adjustment of the gain can cause the overall system to become unstable. Improper adjustment. So you have to choose carefully the value of controller parameter k here. Okay. This is the example of a first order system. Unstable system we can make it stable. If it is a stable system, we can vary the gain and we can make system more stable or more less stable. Okay. Now, let us take for an example of second order unstable system. In that case, I've taken example of s square minus 4. Now, s square minus 4, that means what? S square equal to 4. So, s equal to plus minus root of 4. So, that will be plus minus 2. So, if you plot that, we have a plus 2 minus 2. Okay. That means what? System is unstable because we have a pole at right hand plane. Okay. So now we can find this is k. If for second order system, if we apply a proportional constant, then what you will get? Okay, that closed loop transfer function as this is the transfer function. Now this is the quadratic equation. So pole is that root of minus 4 minus k. Okay. Now if we put a square equal to 4 minus k root plus minus root of that. Okay, so we can write here plus minus root of that. Okay. So now if we put k value, okay, less than 4, okay, less than 4, then it will be a positive value and we can have another negative value, so that will be greater than 0, so it is an unstable system. And if we get k greater than 4, then it will be a complex number, okay, plus minus. Okay, so we will have a marginally stable system, right? So it is not stable. So for all values of k, your system can be unstable or marginally stable. Okay, so we can say we cannot make the system stable one. So second order unstable system, we cannot make it stable completely or absolutely stable by using a parameter k only, proportional controller parameter only. For that, what you have to do? We have to do some damping. Second order system, so we have to do insert some damping effect so that system will be can be stable. So a term provided, that is a derivative term. That means if we have a controller here, okay, this is your error signal, this is your output, and this output should be, say this is output, say p, this p should be d e, de by dt. So output of this controller, okay, is nothing but derivative of the error signal de dt. So what we can say here, if you take Laplace inverse, so ps output equal to de by dt means in Laplace transform it is s into es, right? S into es. Derivative of a signal is not in Laplace domain, it is nothing but s into multiplied by s. So ps by es, so ps equal to what? Output equal to s into es, right? S into es. So that's why we can use this term s into k2. K2 is a constant and multiplied by that. Okay. So ps by es, that is equal to s, and we can multiply a constant term k2. Okay. So this is called derivative controller because output of controller is derivative of the input of the controller, okay, or error of the error signal. Now what will happen, let us check. So we can find out this factor into this, okay, 1 plus gh h equal to 1. So this is the transfer function that we get. Now we can using this we can find out the route table, and we can find out the condition that if k2 greater than 0 and k1 greater than 4, then your system becomes stable. Okay, so for a second order system, okay, second order unstable system, if you want to make it stable, we have to use proportional and plus derivative controller as a whole, that is called PD controller. Okay, so this is the example how we can make unstable system to a stable system. So using damping and feedback, we can stabilize this second order unstable system. Okay, so this is why we require a controller. Due to this controller, okay, we can stabilize this open loop unstable system second order. For first order we have seen here. Okay, so this is the two example I have taken here so that you can understand the concept of controller, why you have to use the controller at all. Okay, now let us discuss about all the different type of controller that is available in industry. Okay, those are proportional controller, that already I told you what is the meaning of that. That means controller input, always it is the error input, error signal, and output is applying to the plant. Okay, now what is the relation output of this controller, what is the relation with the error, that decide what type of controller it is. Okay, if output is proportional, that means k into e. Okay, that means it is proportional to the error, that is called proportional constant. Then we have integral controller. Integral means output will be ki into some constant into integral of e dt. Okay, integral of e dt, right? And derivative controller means output is say kd into derivative of the some constant into derivative of the error signal. Okay, so proportional, integral, derivative. So these are the three basic type PID. Now we can combine that. That means we can use proportional plus integral, so PI controller, proportional plus derivative PD, or we can use three of that together, PID controller. Okay, so these are the type of controllers available in industry. Now let me discuss about each controller one by one. Okay, for P controller, okay, the output of controller is simple, proportional to the error signal ET. Okay, so what we can say here, that output of controller, this is P. Okay, this is your controller. Okay, P equal to Kp into Et. So that proportional of error signal. Okay, so if you take Laplace transform, Ps equal to Kp into Es. So Ps by Es equal to Kp. That is the proportional gains constant of a proportional controller. Okay, Ps equal to Es into Kp in Laplace domain. Okay, that is the proportional controller. Okay, now though there exists linear relation between controller output and the error, for a zero error, whenever you get a zero error, this output will be zero, right? Then what will happen? Your plant will not have any signal. Okay, for a zero error, controller output should not, actually what will happen? This will be zero, right? Then what happen? Your plant will not get any signal. So it may halt. Okay, so what we have to do is that if we have a zero error, proportional output should not be zero, otherwise the process will come to halt. Hence there exists some controller output P0 for the zero error. Then mathematically the equation we can write in this manner: Pt equal to Kp into Et plus P0. P0 is the controller output with zero error. This is the some value you have to apply. Okay, so this is the point that you have to remember. Okay, now the basic modes of proportional controller. The proportional controller is simply an amplifier multiplied with K. Okay, so gain is Kp. Gain of the controller is Kp. Okay, with P controller, what is the response that you will get? Okay, response of closed loop system become faster. Okay, but maximum overshoot increases. Okay, the large value of Kp makes system unstable. Okay, P controller cannot handle steady state error. It provides offset error too. Now for that, let me show you a comparison graph. Okay, say this is your open loop system transfer function. Okay, and if you include a GC, okay, that Kp constant value equal to 3.04, HS feedback is 1. Then blue line is the closed loop system without controller. Okay, so what we can see with for a step response means output should be 1. Okay, output should be 1. So what we can see there is a very high steady state error, right? Very high steady state error. Okay, and your system is, this is the system response. Now if you include a proportional controller only, and what we can see the value of is 3.04, then this one is your graph now, output response now. Now what we can see here, that it reaches its maximum say 100% value at this time. Here it reaches its 100% value at say this time. That means what? System response becomes faster because rise time decreases, so system response becomes faster. That is the first point. System response become faster. But what we can see here, this is the overshoot from the steady state value. Here overshoot increases. So maximum overshoot increases. Okay, now if we keep on increasing the value of GC, okay, what will happen? This keep on maximum overshoot keep on increasing, so system become less stable, and it is possible it becomes unstable. Okay, if we have very high Kp value. Okay, so and what we can see, if we start increasing value of Kp, your steady state response, okay, steady state error decreases, but it cannot be close to zero. We will have steady state error, some finite value. Okay, so this is the use of this proportional controller. So what proportional controller can do? It can make your system faster. Okay, it can reduce steady state error. Okay, but not equal to zero, almost to zero. Okay, so and overshoot increases. So basic fundamental point is what? Your system becomes faster. That is the first and foremost point. Okay, but it has drawback. Maximum overshoot increases. Steady state error cannot be equal to zero, almost equal to zero. Okay, so these are the parameter using proportional constant. Okay, so what happened if we increase gain? Okay, your system becomes maximum overshoot increases, that we can see, and system becomes faster, maximum overshoot increases, and the system may reach to instability. Okay, that is the point of proportional controller. Now let us see what will happen for integral controller. Integral controller means, okay, so this is another way to describe that. Okay, now let me describe you in different way, that okay, et, okay, sorry, this is your pt. Okay, output of output of controller output. Okay, pt equal to integral of et dt. Okay, then what we can write in Laplace domain, PS equal to, okay, ES by S, right? And we can have a proportional constant here, Ki. Okay. So this is proportional to, so we can have here Ki term. Okay, Ki into integration of Et. So output of controller is integral of error signal Et. Okay, it is proportional to that. So Ki multiply, I mean proportional constant is there. So PS equal to Ki into Es divided by S. So integral means divided by S factor. So PS by Es, okay, PS by Es, that is equal to Ki by S. So for integral controller, the gain of the controller is Ki by S. Okay, so this is the point. Now, in the proportional control mode, error reduces but cannot go to zero. Error is reducing. We can see here error is reducing at as we increasing the gain value. Error is reducing. Here also you can see that error is reducing. Okay, it is going close to 1, but it cannot go to 0. Okay, 0 steady state error. So we can have offset error. Okay, so to avoid this, we can use this controller, that is integral controller. Okay, integral controller describes a controller in which the output rate of change is dependent on the magnitude of the input. Okay, if we use this, what we can write at proportional integral controller output. Okay, PT can be written as Ki integration of Et dt plus P0. This is the part we are taken when error is 0. What will happen? Okay, at t equal to 0. From that we can find out that the controller gain for integral controller, that is Ki by S, that already I showed you. Okay. The major advantage of integral controller is that they have the unique ability to return the controller variable back to the exact set point following a disturbance. Okay, that means steady state error becomes almost equal to 0. Okay. Disadvantage of the integral controller mode are that it responds relatively slow to an error, and that it can initially allow a large deviation at the instant the error is produced. Okay. So system can produce instability and cyclic operation. Okay. For this reason, integral controller mode is not normally used alone. It is used in combination of P and D. So it can, we have to use PI controller or PID controller, not integral controller alone. Okay, that is the point. So in as a summary, we can write this one, that is output of the controller is Ki into integral of input of the controller. Then we can take Laplace transform. So controller gain is Ki by S. So with I controller, offset error is removed. Okay, steady state error in step response is also eliminated. That means there is no steady state error now. System response becomes slightly slower. Okay, oscillation increases, maximum overshoot increases, and this can, thus system can become unstable. So according to the plot, so this is the same open loop transfer function I have taken. Okay, and we are using a integral controller Ki by S, Ki choosing as this value. Okay, so you have to multiply with GS and take the open closed loop transfer function, then we can find out its response. So what we can see, that this is the response of closed loop transfer function, step response. We have very high value of steady state error, right? Now whenever we use this integral controller, steady state error, we can see here this become 1. Okay, this output become 1, that means this steady state error becomes 0, but system is not, system becomes a slower one. Okay, slower one. So what is the main point of integral controller? Steady state error be can be close to 0. Okay, so steady state error, with respect to steady state error, integral controller we have to use. That means if we require 0 steady state error, almost 0 steady state error, then we have to use this integral controller. Okay, P controller cannot do that, even derivative controller cannot do that. Okay, if you want to increase the speed, we can include proportional controller. That means if you want steady state error equal to 0 and if you want speed should be increased, then we have to use PI controller. Okay, okay, that is the point. So for every controller we have some drawback, some advantage. Now depend on your application, you have to use any combination of those controller. Now let us talk about derivative controller. Derivative controller means what? Output of controller is proportional to derivative of the error signal, and we are multiplying it because it is proportional, so we can make it equal to kd. Okay, so if you take Laplace transform, ps equal to skd es, so ps by es equal to skd. So skd is the gain of the controller, derivative controller. Okay, that already told you. Derivative controller give faster action when input changes rapidly. Okay. However, decontrollers are not used alone, because if your error changes rapidly, a step function, a impulse function, then the derivative of that is almost infinity. Right? So that's why derivative controller we cannot use uh, alone. So now, if error is a constant, okay, error is a constant, then output is zero. Derivative of constant is zero. Hence, actuator output will be also zero. That's why this D controller we cannot use as a alone. Okay, if error signal changes suddenly, step, then output will be impulsive. Okay, so these are the drawback of the derivative controller. Now, what is the main point? Derivative controller give faster action when input change rapidly. So it is basically providing faster action, derivative controller. Okay. Now let us discuss about PI controller. Okay. PI controller means we are using P proportional controller plus integral controller. Okay. That is the factor. That is the factor. Or we can have here Kp into Ki by S also. So Kp plus Kp into Ki by S. So output of controller depend on proportional of error signal, okay, and integral of error signal also. Okay, that is the point. Proportional plus integral. Okay, so that block diagram we can show like this way: Kp into Et. Okay, here Ki integral of Et. Right, that we can summation, and it is applying to the plant. Okay, we can have some feedback or unity feedback, doesn't matter. Okay, so this is the gain of that kp plus ki into 1 by s, and we can have the kp plus kp into ki by s term also. Okay, any one of that is possible. Now if you use this, okay, then what will happen? Pi controller, kp is proportional gain. Okay, ti we can insert some time, integral time. Okay, now kp affects both proportional and integral control action. Okay. So what will happen in pi controller? Due to p controller, response become faster. Okay, due to p controller, while due to integral controller, steady state error becomes zero. Okay, so this is the 2 point that we are getting from pi. The main point of proportional controller is system becomes faster. Integral controller is steady state error becomes zero. Okay, that is the point. But maximum overshoot increases. Now that we can see here. This is the open loop transfer function. Closed loop transfer function step response is this one. So we can see there is a high value of steady state error. Okay. Now if we use this gain of this controller kp plus ki by s, okay, and if you find out closed loop transfer function and find out this response, what we can see, system becomes faster, right? So this is your 100% value, and here it is your, so system becomes faster. Okay, and steady state error becomes zero, it goes to 1. This is the two criteria we are getting. but maximum overshoot is increasing. That is the drawback. Okay, this is PI controller. Now we can use PD controller. Okay, proportional with derivatives. That means what? What we will have KP, okay, plus SKD, or we can multiply that with KD also. Okay, so what will happen here? Derivative mode is never used alone because it is capable of maintaining a control signal under steady state error condition. Okay, so always you have to use derivative controller with proportional mode or in addition with integral mode. Now what we have Kp into E, okay, Kd into differentiation of E, that we are adding, applying to the plant. If we apply that, what we will have, the gain of that controller Kp plus Skd. Okay, so now what will happen, PD controller produces very fast response because proportional constant, a proportional controller makes your system faster. Derivative controller also makes your system faster. It cannot handle steady state error. Error cannot be zero. Steady state error should be zero. If we can be zero if we apply integral controller, then only, otherwise not. Okay, PD controller increases damping that provides transient, reduces the oscillation to response, so it can reduce the maximum overshoot, so system becomes more stable. Okay, now we can see the plot here. If we have an open loop transfer function, okay, and if we apply PD, okay, PD controller, that is Kp plus Skd, H is equal to 1. So this is the response. Okay. Now steady state error reduces, but it is not equal to 0. It is not, we have a finite amount of steady state error because we are not using here I. Only I controller can do that, and system becomes very faster. Okay. So that is the point that we are getting from this particular plot. Okay. Now Now we can look for the PID controller. Okay. Now PID controller is the best one. Okay. What we can have in this mode, that we have Kp into E, Ki into integration of E, Kd into det of dt. Okay. Then what we can have, output of controller depend on proportional of error, okay, integral of error and derivative of error separately, that you can find out, add and apply to plant. So you will have this particular Kp plus Ki by S plus Kd into S. From that what we can see, okay, that if we use these three controller together, what we will have, due to P and D, okay, system becomes faster. Okay, and we will get zero steady state error due to I control. So system becomes faster, steady state error becomes zero. Okay, and due to D controller, okay, it becomes higher stability. Maximum overshoot decreases if we use D controller. Okay, so we can see here steady state error is very high. Okay, now if we use PID controller, okay, KP SKD KI by S, then steady state error becomes zero. System become more faster. Okay, system becomes more faster. That we are getting from here. Okay, now we can see the all those plot of an open loop transfer function. Okay, what you can see, if for open loop transfer function, this is the plot, green one. Okay, if you take closed loop transfer function with negative unity negative feedback, then closed loop transfer function is this one. So what we can see here, that we have very large value of steady state error. Now if we use PD controller, okay, PD controller, what will happen, that, okay, let us take PI. Let PI controller, what will happen, we will have maximum overshoot, okay, and steady state error becomes zero. Okay, if we use PD, steady state error cannot be zero, so we have finite steady state error, and due to D, your maximum overshoot is not there. Okay, it is now at 1. Here it is greater than 1. so we have maximum overshoot. It is not having any maximum overshoot, but steady state error is not equal to 0. System becomes faster, okay, because we have used proportional controller. For PD it is more faster because P and D both make system more faster. So now if we use PID, okay, what we are getting, we are having overshoot because of this integral and proportional controller, okay, and steady state error becomes 0. So PID controller is one of the best one. Why? Because in that case system can be faster, but he see compared to PD and PID, his system becomes little bit slower because we have used integral. But we require to use integral controller when we require zero steady state error. So there is a trade-off that we have to take care. Okay, which one you have to use? If you require steady state error equal to 0, you have to use integral controller. If you want to make your system more faster response, then you have to use P and D both. Then you can use PID controller. That will be the better one. Okay, because we are getting steady state error and system is faster. Okay, not compared to PD, but it is a faster one. Okay, compared to the, at least from the your closed loop system. Okay, we can reduce steady state error to 0, which makes system more faster. Okay, and if we use more value of D controller, I mean we have to choose the value of KP, okay, KI and KD. Okay, if you increase KD value substantially, then what happens, this maximum overshoot can be reduced. Okay, that can be reduced, this overshoot can be reduced. Okay, this overshoot can be reduced if we use KD in a proper way. That means we have to use some programming language, say MATLAB, and we have to write a program to find out the response. Okay, we have to change the variable kp, ki, kd, and we have to observe what is the response, and according to your application you have to choose the value of kp, kd, ki suitably. Okay, so for this kind of controller in industry we are not going to use pi and d controller alone. Okay, what we are doing, either we can use pi, okay, if maximum overshoot is not much constant, speed is not much constant, but we require zero steady state error, so we can use pi. Okay, but if you require faster, we can use PID. Okay, that is the way. So if you don't look for, or if you don't bother about steady state error, then only you require faster response, then you can use PD controller. It will be faster and it will be more stable. Okay, if we have higher value of proportional and integral controller parameter, then your system may goes into instability. Okay, those are the trade-off we have to perform. Now, mm, uncontrolled system has largest steady state error. Okay, so using PI controller, steady state error can reduce to 0, but we can have overshoot and oscillation can be increased due to PI controller. Overshoot and oscillation increase. With PD only, we can get faster response. Okay, faster response, but we have steady state error, faster response, and we can have less, maximum overshoot is lesser, system more stable, oscillation will be lesser. So PID controller again reduces ESS to 0 faster than uncontrolled and PI, and least overshoot. Because of D, overshoot becomes least. So that's why this PID controller is very much important, or the best one. Using D, we can reduce the maximum overshoot. Okay, steady state error can be equal to 0, and speed can be increased. Okay, so these three parameters we can find out, and system becomes more stable. So these four parameter we can find out using PID controller. So this is the best response among other controller. Okay, so let me just summarize that proportional control action of proportional controller, it arrests the change of measure value but always with an offset error. Okay, so it will have zero steady state error will be there. Integral controller restores, it removes the offset, zero steady state error. Derivative controller accelerates, it speed up the offset, that means response will be faster. Okay, so as a summary, what we can say KP. Proportional controller, rise time decreases, overshoot increases, settling time there is small change, steady state error decrease but cannot be zero. KI, integral, rise time decrease a little bit, okay, overshoot increase, settling time increase, but steady state error eliminate. So this is the right case, okay, here this is the right case, okay. KD, small change in rise time, okay, overshoot decrease, this is the right case, okay. So these are the 3 points we can use, okay. Rise time also change here, okay. This is the PID controller summary, okay. And you can have this other parameter that you can talk about P controller, okay. When system is with systems with slow response, system tolerant to offset, okay. So slow response system, we can use P controller, make it faster. I, integral means not used alone as is too slow, okay. It is used for very noisy system. D, so we cannot use that alone also, okay. PI, we have to often used, okay. PID, often used, most robust and very sensitive, okay. So among all those controller, we can say that PID controller is the best one, okay. So in this lecture I explained all the concept of controller, why we have to use controller, because we can make our system unstable system to stable one, then we can make our system response faster, okay, steady state error to zero, okay, maximum overshoot we can decrease and make our system more stable. For that we have to use PID controller, okay. So this is all about the controller design, okay. Thank you so much. See you in the next lecture video. Thank you.